Episode 326. This is going to be a weird episode, because I lost all the audio. Everything that's happening on screen right now is happening in the past, so I guess I decided to re-record some of the commentary in post, even though I never really do that sort of thing. I was debating if I want to upload this video just completely without audio, but then I guess I decided I'd just try to do this and see where it goes. I don't really remember everything that happened, but I guess I can just read over whatever dialogue appears on screen and talk about whatever I think I was thinking about at the time, if I can even remember that. Well, let's see how it goes. Not sure what I was talking about here, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're just talking to Alice now. I don't know about you two, but I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Me too, let's do this. Right, not left to say then. You nervous? Like teasing, I'll say. Me nervous? Come now. I mean, it's not as though I haven't risked my life in ridiculous ways before. Well, maybe I am a little bit, strangest thing that. Completely out of character even. Anyway, let's go. Come on. It's not out of character to just be a bit afraid. We're going into a life or death situation. This episode was mainly just doing the trial and, well, there was a whole lot of cutscenes, which was why I was sort of okay with the idea of uploading it only with the game audio. Beneath the waters of the west of Suino Sato lies a cave that will lead you to the Isle of Zeki. May Zakomi watch over and keep you. Just notice that guy's name was Maxipad, and you can comment on that in the original audio. But yeah, this episode, considering it's like heavy for the story, a lot of it's just going to be voiced by the NPCs, and usually when I'm recording anyway, I just let the cutscenes play out without too much interjection. Part of the problems of doing post-commentary like this, other than it being annoying for having to do it a second time and taking my time this way, the annoying part is that the first time I recorded these, whenever I record these, I just maybe pause in the middle of nowhere, looking at some random things or musing on some random thoughts. It might just happen again here. Or even during the middle of conversations, I don't advance the dialogue. That's probably going to happen some point in this video, and I'm just going to be sitting there waiting for myself to advance or something. Oh, I remember this. I was looking around at these and realized that I never really, on my main character, noticed these little buoys that kind of are like a landing strip leading you inside. Or if I did notice them, I didn't remember them on this playthrough. Anyway, I hope you didn't waste too much energy swimming here. Once the fighting starts, I doubt we'll have a moment to rest. And yeah, I guess I'm pausing here for some reason, whatever I was talking about. Was I commenting on the buoys still? Who knows. They're just very interesting buoys. Assuming this is the right cave, it should lead us straight into the heart of the Isle of Zeki. Have you got a plan for once we get to the Isle? How about two of us get the guard's attention, while the third heads straight for the vault? Afterwards, the other two join them there, and together we make a stand. With our numbers, it's not feasible to do anything more complicated, I think. Fine by me. I like simple plans. I'll be one of the decoys then. You read my mind. I also had a mind to ask Komoi to be one, given her peerless martial prowess. Yes, us, the Warrior of Light. Then settled. You two will make your way through the stronghold, creating as much chaos as possible. You know, have some fun. Meanwhile, I will attempt to locate the vault and gain entry with a ceremonial knife. When I'm inside, I will contact you via link pearl. Right, come on, Komoi. We've got work to do. I remember thinking that this plan could have kind of worked with us heading towards the vault and the other two doing distractions. I actually thought when she was saying it, that's what she was getting at. But it makes sense for the Warrior of Light to be the heavy muscle part of the plan, I guess. Even though we're playing ninja right now, and it also sort of makes sense that we could be the one doing the infiltration part. Pretty simple plan, not exactly one of Alphinaud's plans. Are Alphinaud's plans more complicated? I guess just when I think of Alphinaud, I think he'd probably come up with some complicated plans, but maybe I'm just overestimating him. So yeah, at this point in time, I guess we had already gotten to the point where we did all the side content before all of this that I want to get out of the way for the Aether Currents and the ninja job quests that were also in the area, which had now moved on to the next point in the expansion over in Yangsha, I guess. And having done all of that side content, I guess I was pretending, and I am still pretending, that we got all of the warriors that we needed for the upcoming trial that Alice so heavily-handedly alluded to being a thing. Oh yeah, and at this point I was looking at my abilities to see, again, one more time, I like do this every episode now, I think, or every other episode, to understand what my rotation should be. Maybe now's a good time to review it when I'm not actually playing the game and just looking on screen. I think I just want to go for like a GCD to start with and then start with Dokumori, which gives me the damage boost, which isn't directional. Then I want to do the ninja thing that gives me Shadow Walker that allows trick attack, which is usually only possible when you're hidden, or when you have the special Shadow Walker thing. Followed by whatever else, I guess. The Bala Klava, whatever that ability is called. Bakravaka, I don't know. Then Dream Within a Dream, all woven between GCDs and like the ninja stuff, of course. And the extra powerful ninja thing that is the pink ability on the left there. I don't have like the solid way that I should be doing these, like the exact placements that they should be in. I just know that I want to do the buffs first and then the rest of them. It's hard to get a proper rotation in though if I don't have it like rigidly the same every time. But at the same time you don't want things to be too rigid, right? Because then it'd just be mechanical, it'd be robotic even. I don't think I spend too much time wandering around touring the Isle of Zeki. There wasn't too much to see here. I think the architecture, if you can even call it that, really was just the same as the as Tama Mizu. Oh yeah, the last Aether Current there. The last Aether Current out in the world, like physically, and also the last Aether Current before the last story quest one, because I went out of my way to get all the side content stuff before this point. It's always nice when you finish the last main story quest that gives you an Aether Current, and that's the exact point where you unlock flying, since that's like the demarcation point where the story says you're done with this zone, you have free reign. It seems like they have little treasures over, or all over the place in this island, not just in the vault. And these same doors that are sort of like in Tamamizu, which I guess lead into apartments further inside or something like that, housing that we never get to see. So yeah, here I was just trying to practice my exact rotation, starting with Dokumori, then the trick attack after the ninja thing, followed by all the stronger ninja stuff with GCDs, trying not to miss a single beat, unless there are no enemies for me to target, in which case I just had to do some buffering, I guess. I didn't even notice I sent out the rabbit just there, because I made a mistake. For a single target, it's mostly just going to be Raitone, with some Shadow Walker stuff in between, up until we get like the level 70 ability, I think, which is pretty soon now that I think about it. At which point we're going to have to like weave in some other stuff with that Tenchi Jin, which once I get to it I guess will be something I'll have to like conceptualize or explain or something on camera. I have an idea of how it works, but I guess I haven't actually put it into practice yet. Let's talk to Lise. You're a sight for sore eyes. I hope Alice's alright too. Speak of the Alice. Come on, Lise, can you hear me? I found the vault. Head northwest. There's a passage leading deeper within. Hurry. And off Lise goes to the southwest. That's not northwest. Of course she knows that she has to head southwest to head northwest. She read the map. When I was thinking about doing this, recording this in post, it came to mind a video that I was watching of a Blueprint's Day 1 trophy run, where the creator was commentating over their run in post. It sounded like, almost like they were doing it live, the commentary. Of course, they weren't trying to make it sound live, it just, the way that they were talking about everything happening on screen in the past, it sounded so in sync with everything they were saying, like everything happening on screen, that it almost felt like they were describing the present, which is pretty impressive to me. Like they remembered exactly what they were doing at the time. I'm not sure I can even do that with any of my playthroughs, remember beat for beat what I was thinking and what I was doing at any given moment. Even looking at my playthrough right now, hard to remember what I was thinking. Oh yeah, I was letting my chocobo distract that thing. Come on, you red bastards, is that the best you can do? I accidentally aggroed it, I guess. There you are, the entrance is straight ahead. Good timing, I might add. It sounds like the whole garrison is headed straight for us. And yeah, our chocobo distracts that enemy while we're doing the dialogue. It worked out nicely.
Thieves! Thieves! Come to steal our most precious treasures? You will pay for this sacrilege!
That's the spirit! Now don't be shy. I'm more than ready for another round.
Nisa's always a joy whenever it comes down to combat like this. Very chipper. I wonder why I was pausing here. Maybe I was making the exact same remark that I just did, except a little bit later.
What in the world?
They mentioned this would happen. Well, sort of mentioned this would happen, not in great detail. That the kami would smile upon us or something for trespassing or mischief making. This is not what they were,
Who hath made us whole?
Not explicitly what they were talking about, but yeah, the kami.
A great kami stirs. Yes, yes. A great kami of the sacred treasures. O great kami, we beseech your intercession. We who have guarded your blade and glass for generations, your faithful Kojin.
It was I who made you whole. If I made you whole, it was not my intent, but I butt carried the trinket. Yeah, like the second one here. We didn't mean to do this, but we did it anyway. Mischief making.
Thou didst freely deliver our jewel unto thine enemy's own treasure vault?
Yeah, as a prank.
How auspicious! We do commend thee, daughter of man.
We're also daughter of woman, but okay.
Audacity is deserving of celebration, exaltation, a contest of wills to mark the occasion. Let lines be drawn, let sides be chosen. And for their loyalty, we shall stand with the caretakers of our greater part.
Yeah, so we're being commended here, but we're also being threatened. It's both.
Oh, perfect. A contest of wills, just what we need.
Hearken to us, shelled ones. Upon this day your wish shall be granted. Curse neither your fate nor its executor, children of man, for we are of the divine, of both heaven and earth, the ringing silence, the raging calm. All riseth and falleth at the whim of capricious fortune. Assume your marks upon the stage and embrace the coming chaos.
Bit of a different entrance from the usual guys that just flat out threaten us whenever we intrude upon their territory. Quite the chipper guy, this one. And quite the entrance, too. What a guy.
We are Susano, and in revelry do we rejoice.
In revelry do we rejoice. Maybe I'll make that the episode title.
That's a primal standing in front of us, right?
And a horde of angry Kojin at our backs. Oh, this contest is getting worse by the moment. Lise, help me clear a path. Leave them to us and save your strength. You'll be needing it soon enough.
Yeah, I think that was commenting here. I didn't really realize it, or the first time through when I was playing on my main character.
Make way!
But they look really good in the rain here. Maybe that's only because, like, only at this point in time, when I'm playing on my second character here.
For the feast, children of man. The dish will be served whether you will it or no.
Like with the graphics update that happened around Dawn Trail, maybe it made all the rain animation and like the wet clothes look better. And maybe this cutscene never looked as good as it does now, back in the time that I originally played. I guess I just feel like it would have stuck in my memory if it looked that good the first time around. Okay, yeah, so now we're in this weird position where they send us back out. If this were like a later point in the game's design philosophy or design history, they would have actually had us be inside that arena after Susano was summoned and then enter the trial from there. But I guess for whatever mechanical reason back then, they had to send you outside of the chamber to reconvene over here before you go back in for the trial. It's a little weird, but they make it work, I guess. Like lore-wise, conversation-wise. It's a bit hand-wavy. We should definitely talk strategy before we do anything else. That was not part of the plan. The Kojin Primal was most definitely not part of the plan. Yeah, they didn't exactly mention that part. I guess they mentioned Kami, not Primal. Though I am sure there's a perfectly logical explanation involving the Aether stored in the treasures, and the religious fervor with which the Kojin guard them. Or something. A pity Alfino's not here to provide it. No, you did a good job. Those are the two things, the two main ingredients. Just when I thought our fortunes had changed, I swear Sorbonne and its people knew this might happen. Did they? No, somehow I doubt that. Even the Reds seem surprised by what happened. All rises and falls at the whims of capricious fortune, does it? Then the same goes for him. We have to defeat that Primal. The Lord of the Revel. Maybe that's the episode title, not sure. As before, our numbers limit our options. I wish I could claim to have a brilliant plan, but I don't. All I have is a desperate one. Lise, you and I will do our best to draw the Kojin away from the Primal. We'll lead them on a wild dodo chase all over the Isle. The rest of the plan, I'm afraid you can guess. I'm sorry, Komori, I truly am, but neither of us can even approach Susano, much less hope to defeat him. Which means you're on your own. No, we're not on our own. We took your advice, your little unsubtle foreshadowing. We got 7 other guys in the wings. Well, who knows? She does have an awful lot of adventurer friends. Maybe some of them decided to take a fishing trip to the Far East, and are surprisingly close by. Or, yeah, very hand-wavy. Don't worry, our explanation is a little bit more in lore. I think we're still pretending that we got some warriors from Suino Sato and got some spare ninjas that Opero had. Not a very good explanation, but that's what I'm going with. Or something. Pretending all the players that will join us are just those random NPCs that are around the world or something like that. Who also happen to have the Echo because you need that to withstand primal influence. Maybe my explanation is worse than Lisa's explanation. Whatever. Yes, and I speak for the Wintingen. Come on, there's no point putting this off. I guess for all that they know, we actually take on this Primal one-on-one. The way that Alice was describing it, it sounds like she doesn't expect us to actually get any backup. All the more glory for us, I guess. The Pool of Tribute. At the time I was recording this, it was actually pretty late in the night. I often end up recording at that time of day just because I do other things during the actual daytime. But I meant to record this much earlier in the day when I was originally recording it and actually get a more decent duty queue. Unfortunately, I had to wait like 20 minutes here, about double the amount of time that was estimated, so unlucky for past me, I guess. Alright, and here we are back in, at the Pool of Tribute. Now with 7 more guys. Nice entrance. You already did it. Why'd you have to do it again? Very weird.
Let the rebels begin!
I always liked this arena. Whenever I got the duty roulette and Susano popped up, other than just the fight being fun, I was just like looking at this arena. It's a bit different on the Lalafell since the water is much higher, like relatively for a Lalafell than other characters, but the way the water just kind of rises up and makes all the AoEs on the ground look a little bit different, it's just kind of interesting. It sometimes makes them hard to see, but I like the way that it looks. Okay. We get targeted by this thing here. I try to put up arm's lengths, and apparently that doesn't work for that knockback. There are other ways to deal with it by making it so that you get knocked into the wall closer to Susano, like facing north where the tank is. I think that's usually the strategy, so you don't get knocked too far away, but there's enough time to just walk back anyway. It's a fun thing for the non-tanks to deal with, that little pushback. It's not a whole lot to deal with, at least it's something. Always fun when the boss targets someone other than the tank, I guess. And I get targeted here again. He really likes me. It's because we're the main character. And here I do that thing where I get knocked into the closer wall. Mouse and Kakyo catches a lot of guys off guard, I think. It's one of those fast AoE things that you might not notice going up. I don't remember exactly, but I think I did okay on my rotation here. This would have been the first time I could actually test my rotation in a trial setting, which is like the optimal setting for getting all the buffs or whatever, with positionals and all of that. I don't think I did it perfectly, but I think I did okay here. Like I did things in the right order, I maybe clipped or drifted a little bit. And I think at the very end, or somewhere in the middle, I forget to use some abilities when they come back up, but at least my opener I think was okay. These lightning AoEs, they float off the ground. They're the ones that are kind of harder to see, but I do like the way they look. Ninja gets a lot of ranged attacks that don't actually cause you to lose DPS when you do them. For melee DPS, you usually lose DPS if you're trying to do ranged attacks, but the ninjas ninjutsu are all ranged, so they're still optimal to do, and they fit in pretty nicely at any point in the combo usually. At this point, Susano starts combining those two things, the stack marker and the pushback, which causes like the split of the heaven and earth or whatever you would call it, which is a pretty good combination. And when speaking of splitting heaven and earth, here comes the big sword phase. This is a really fun phase, and there's a way that you're supposed to do it, but we don't do it that way here. We do it a cooler way, because we're the main character. So the tank is supposed to guard. The tank was running up to guard against the sword here. But really anyone can guard on this, even a healer, so long as they get some healing. And the rest of the party attacks the sword to push it back. The character that's guarding the sword constantly has their HP drain, which is why it's better to have a tank do it, and well, they have more defense and more HP, but it's survivable. I'd go back to let a tank take the second one, but it didn't seem like someone was going immediately there, so I went back in. I would have liked to do the other part of this where we attack the sword, but I guess since I took the first sword, I thought I should take the second one too, just in case no one did it in time. The other thing about this phase is that there are like orbs that spawn on the left and right. If one tank takes a sword, the other tank is supposed to run into the orbs, as we saw the warrior do just now. Absorb that damage so the main tank doesn't have to. And then you just get out of that, and here comes the big finish. It's a pretty great phase transition.
Resilient souls, I salute you!
What a great guy, Susano. Always a joy to fight. I'm just thinking to myself, that marker on the tank, that wouldn't have existed back then, right? You would have just had to know that that would have been a tank buster that actually like cleaves the rest of the party. And he does this sort of Titan thing here where he puts someone inside one of these. I don't think Titan swaps them around though. At least he's supposed to swap them around, but the one that the party member was trapped in was immobile the entire time. I wonder if that's harder on Extreme or whatever. I guess every mechanic tends to be harder on Extreme. Okay, a great white, I guess. Nothing that really comes out too surprising in this final phase here, other than that rock cup game thing. I think there were a lot of tank busters like that in the past expansions that, since they weren't really marked with that same marker, you just had to know that the tanks had to get out of the way. You still kind of have to do that for some of the XIVs that tanks do, or that bosses do as auto attacks or something. But for the most part you can figure it out in the middle of battle, usually. And at this point I was debating if I wanted to wait for a Living Break level 3. It would have been cool for my first outing as a ninja in a trial to have Limit Break level 3. But at the rate things are going, and I still think this, I'm pretty sure we would have killed the boss before we got level 3 here. Or at least if we got level 3 it would have been on like 0% HP or something, 0.1. But who knows, maybe Limit Break races a lot quicker than I think. Because they were still like 2% after we got here, where it could have been raised up, I guess. Or something. But that's it. That's the trial. Fun fight. And we wave goodbye to everyone with some fireworks. I accidentally do Psych Up, which I usually mean to do at the beginning of the fight. And the only person remaining gets a commendation, Lacey Kruger. Meanwhile, off the coast of Otard. And actually here begins a long sequence of cutscenes where it's all voiced. So I don't think I really have to record anything for this, I think. There's still some points after this where I have to maybe go back and reread over some things and put in my post-commentary, which is just redoing my original commentary. I guess maybe I'll just fast forward for myself after these cutscenes.
Nary a peep from the shellbacks, sir. It's enough to make one wonder.
The Red have sounded the alarm. The Isle of Zeki under attack. Fierce fighting in the stronghold. The vault breached by outsiders and strange tales from deep within. All this the Red cannot ignore. Even now, they abandon their posts and flock to the Isle. The Garleans are powerless to stop them.
I'll be damned they did it. Well, Captain, wagers notwithstanding, I dare say we will not have a better opportunity to drive the Imperials from Asari and rescue our men. On the other hand, naught was put in writing, but if your mind is made up, then that is that. I should add that if you were to change your mind, none would gainsay your decision, nor think you beholden to your past. Nor would anyone begrudge you a spot of revenge into the bargain. Like the little miss said, we knew this day would come.
Isari may be a rotting husk, but at least the tavern keeper never watered down his drinks.
Well said for a temperate man.
Hear me, comrades! We made a bargain with the Eorzeans, and I mean to uphold our end of it. I mean to remind the Garleans that this is our sea, that all here belongs to the Confederacy. All that is theirs is ours for the taking, and take it we shall. We will strip them of everything they hold dear.
This one is iron. My hands will break before he speaks.
Kami, give me strength. Are you good at anything? I had hoped this might prove more productive than blind inquiries, but I see you are determined to waste my time. Very well. Line them up. Kill one for every question he refuses to answer.
Hurt them, and you will get naught from me.
You have given me precisely that thus far, so what have I to lose? Mark me, samurai. I will find Lord Hien, be it with your help or with your heads.
Confederate scum! You will pay for that!
Confederacy. They've come to save us!
And this after I took such pains to cow them. Even pirates have their pride, I suppose. Enough to march to their deaths, no less. Oh, the stupidity of it all. It truly is a sickness. I shall just have to lance the boil. Drain them of every last trace of honor and compassion. Every last drop.
My lady, I'm going outside. Oh! Oh! The Kami are not finished with you yet.
There's no end to them. They just keep coming.
Then we must be doing something right. We have to hold out for as long as we can. She's counting on us.
Susano is slain! Slain by the Shellless One!
Is it true? Did you defeat him? Well, in that case, how do you fancy helping us keep the Kojin occupied until the Confederacy make their move? Speak of the devils, that's coming from Isari.
I think we've done all we can here. Let's withdraw and make for the village.
Right. Although, they don't seem keen to let us go.
Hear me, Kojin of the Red. We have no quarrel with you, only your Imperial masters. No more blood need be shed this day. I pray you let us go in peace.
You dare speak to us of peace? Your flesh will feed the fishes, thief! Attack!
Now's our chance. Don't worry about her, she can handle herself.
I can't let you take all the glory, can I?
Okay, and we're back in after those cutscenes at whatever point in the video this is. I'll figure it out in post and move things around, I guess. There's some more cutscenes after this, but I think I'm just going to want to read over whatever dialogue happens in the middle here and add in whatever commentary that I might have had in the first place in post. Just so things in this video are similar enough to my usual video so that this doesn't feel too out of place in the history. Not that it really matters, I guess. Ideally, this shouldn't be a problem for any future videos. Really, the only reason I lost the audio this first time was that, well, I was trying some new audio settings to see if I could make things easier on the processing for myself, but while doing that, I accidentally made the audio sources mixed up and didn't record any audio whatsoever. Can't recover audio that you didn't record in the first place. Lesson learned. I think we're safe. I didn't see any Kojin following us. Wait here, I'm going back for Alice. Yeah, even though we went here together, she stayed behind so we could escape. I mean, that was kind of the plan, right? So that you could escape, not me. And that was a mistake. I should have been the one to stay behind, not her. So I've got to go back. If we lose her, I'll never forgive myself. I was the one who dragged you all into this. It was my fight, not yours. I knew that from the start, but I also knew I couldn't do it alone. But I've asked too much and let too much happen to you all. I have to make this right, and I have to do it on my own. Very noble of you. So let me go, please. I'm asking you as a friend. I have to help her. We don't like that. You can start by finding me a towel and some bandages. Say. Yeah, so much for the heroic sacrifice. What? Why are you all looking at me like that? I said I was going to distract them, not make a heroic and ultimately futile last stand. Who does that anyway? Aw. For the love of... This is stupid. You're embarrassing yourself. And me. Shut up and let me have this. This is fun. Do we get a hug? No, we're too cool for hugs. Right, that wasn't so bad, was it? Now then, we need to hurry back to Asari. I think there were cutscenes after this. Maybe it was just at the very end. Right, that's here. That's right. We have this little section. They didn't follow you, did they? I gave you enough time to escape. Good to hear my selfless act of heroism achieve the desired effect. You needn't worry, by the way. I'm not intending to make a habit of this. Does she make a habit of this? I guess we'll find out. I don't see any soldiers. Do you think the Confederacy drove them off? Of course there are no soldiers around, they can't be. This is an MMO, they can't change the world for like one player and not change it for the rest of them. So by the time we're done with Susano, everything is back to normal. Something definitely happened here. I see several people who look like they might be injured. Let's give them a hand and find out what we missed. Do I need help? Oh, I'll be fine. It's nothing that won't heal. You should go after Lise. What was it Thancred once said about battle scars and maidens? Not worth repeating in polite company, I'm sure. What's this say? You want to impress some maidens with your scars? You don't need scars to do that. Don't listen to Thancred. Bad role model. Well, sometimes bad role model. Sometimes good role model. It's a mixed bag. I remember you. You're the one who saved me from the Doman catchers. Thanks to you, we managed to rescue the fishermen and my kidnapped comrades, one of whom joined the Confederacy with me long ago. It would have broken my heart to have had to bury him. Well, you don't bury them in the Confederacy, you send them out to sea. We know this. It's like part of their lore. Viking funeral. But if you're looking for the captain, you'll find him in the tavern. You should have seen it. The captain was a bleeding whirlwind of death. If he was so cool, why didn't he do it in front of us? It's only cool if we see it happen. Flustered Fisher. We're looking for, like, injured people. Flustered isn't exactly injured. You're not an Imperial. Is it over? You're a coward. Kami be praised. I was certain she would have us all killed and burn Asari to the ground, or kill us after making us watch, or barricade us in our homes before putting them to the torch. Okay, yeah. You're actually not a coward. That's perfectly reasonable to be afraid of. She's a scary woman. We had heard stories about the Viceroy, but that was the first time any of us had seen her in the flesh, and I should be glad if I never see her again. Well, you probably won't, but we'll have to get used to her. Actually, I guess we haven't seen her in the flesh. No, wait, we have. We were spying on her earlier. But she hasn't seen us. Stupefied, also not exactly injured. Unless it's like shock. Thank you, my child. When the fighting started, I tried to run and hide, but fell and could not regain my feet. I thought for sure that we would all be slaughtered, but the pirates drove them off. I never thought I would see the day when the Confederacy came to our aid. Thank you for your concern, but I shall be fine. There is no more need for running after all. Turns out no one was injured, or at least no one that we found. Good for us. Don't have to do any extra humanitarian aid. Back already? No, I missed that. At the tavern, you say? In that case, we should find Lise and speak with him together. Right, the captain. And I think here was another round of cutscenes. Might as well skip forward, yeah. Guess I'll be back when there's no more cutscenes.
My Eorzean friends. Saw the smoke, did you? A pity you did not come sooner, though I gather you were busy elsewhere.
Gosetsu! You're alive. You're all alive.
And full of vim and vigor. Did I not tell you I was no stranger to chains?
The fighting cannot have lasted long. Where are all the Imperials?
Fled. They stood their ground for a time, until it became clear that their Korgian reinforcements would not be coming. We took some few casualties, but my deeper regret is having let Yotsuyu slip through my fingers. That bodyguard of hers may be a half-wit, but he's a mean bastard on the battlefield.
In any event, I imagine all involved are satisfied with this outcome. So far as the Empire is concerned, the Confederacy attacked Asari in retaliation for the Viceroy's actions, and without the aid of insurrectionists, I might add. Suffice it to say, we are prepared to be the subject of their undivided attention for the foreseeable future.
I understand. You have your doubts. We are pirates, after all, with hardly the strength of a nation. But when we saw what you few had accomplished, our hearts could not choose but stir in our breasts.
Your assistance would be most welcome. Nevertheless, we shall do our utmost to spare you undue danger. We are already in your debt.
Nay, little miss, all debts are paid. For by your deeds, many still live who elsewise would not. Let both parties count their blessings, and may fortune continue to favor us all.
You still seek to bring freedom to our people, then? You will go to Yansha.
I have faith that our allies yet live. Once we have found them, we will plan our next step.
Yansha was the crucible of the rebellion. What happened here pales in comparison to what Yotsuyo did there. Remember this. Fear changes men. Have care in whom you place your trust.
And with that, we must take our wounded home. Oh, your shellback friend sends his regards and looks forward to your next meeting. Try not to die before then, eh?
Alright, and back in, now with all the Aether Currents and flight unlocked. I guess at this point I decide it's a good point to actually unlock the last part of the map. I think it might actually be prudent to use the experience that you get for unlocking the map, like the huge boost after getting the last part, to actually get levels on a higher level class. Because I'm pretty sure the map experience scales to your level, so you'd get more experience if you actually put it on a higher level or something. Mainly just if I want to use my high level summoner class to breeze through some extreme content or something like that in solo. And at this point I think I'm just admiring the view now that we unlocked flying. The 1,000-year-old tree. Fine, whatever. It actually looks really pretty. It seems so much smaller, these few islands that we were swimming around this entire few set of episodes, once we're flying up in the air, and that might be obvious, but this happens every time. Whenever I unlock flying, it's this feeling that the world becomes so much smaller because you only ever experience things on ground level, well, you're forced to do that on ground level, whenever you go through the main story the first time. But this being an MMO, and you're constantly returning like for long periods of time after you do the main story, most of your experiences in the world are going to be with flying enabled, I guess, as you're doing the patch quests and random side content or whatever. So slowly over time, your initial experience of the world being large fades away with the image of the world being smaller or something. Oh yeah, and here I was looking at these feature quests wondering what they were. I wasn't really expecting any more since we have all the Aether Currents. So this is Heaven Sent. At the time I was wondering if this meant, was this guy looking in the direction of the tower to the right there, and it having Heaven in the name, that this would be the thing that unlocks Heaven on High. The deep dungeon of this expansion, which not every expansion has a dungeon, but this one's for like levels 60 to 70 or something like that. Or maybe 60 to 80. No, I think it's just 60 to 70. And at this point I think I was looking up the quest. Heaven Sent is not actually for Heaven on High, despite the name. As it was pictured in the quest tooltip box, accept dialogue thing, whatever you call it, it's for the Kojin Society quest. And in the past I did do the Society quest unlocks, like as soon as I had them. But at this point I think I'm just going to do them when I begin the patch quests, or something, after the main story. And this one, Knocking on Heaven's Door, this one is the actual unlock for Heaven on High, in case it wasn't obvious from the image. So yeah, neither of those I want to do right now. If I do either of them, and I mean, I am going to do the Society quest, and I am going to do the quest for Heaven on High, but when I do them, I guess, it'll be after the main story when things are not so pressing with a war going on, even though I take some detours here and there anyway, for like other random bullshit. But not this random bullshit, that'll be for later. Society stuff is time-gated, so it's better to do that during the patch quests where we got a lot going on and there's a lot of time in between episodes or something. And it's more reasonable for my main character to just go wherever they want in the world without worrying about where they should be in the story. According to my map, the plains of Yanxia lie to the west. Of note is the one river, upon the shores of which Doma was built. This is it. We finally headed into the heart of Doma. I can't help but be a little bit nervous. Or we're finally headed into, I guess is what she said. You did well, Komoi. Were it not for the tremendous strength and bravery of you and yours, many innocent souls would have suffered terrible fates. Though I knew the Confederacy would be loath to meet the Imperials in battle, I also knew that if any could win them over, it would be you. Yeah, but did you know we'd take so long? It took us like forever to go from point A to B to C just to recruit everyone. Truly yours is a heroic spirit that inspires men to rise above their circumstances, to strive for something greater. It will be an honor to travel with you again. Polite bow. Now then, let us not squander the Confederacy's gift. Yanxia and my countrymen await. And at this point in time I was debating if I wanted to actually head into Yanxia. At this point in the game, whenever you head into a new area, you know that there's going to be a cutscene that plays that gives you the landscape, like a few shots of the landscape. And I thought that if I was going to spend the next episode over in Yanxia or something, then it would be a good chance to get a thumbnail for that set of episodes. Oh wait, there's a tunnel to the southwest. We need but follow it to reach our destination, with me. Yeah. Once we go through that tunnel, we get all of those shots of the landscape, alongside Lisa's narration of the story. And those landscape shots, if they were during the daytime, would be very good as thumbnails for the episode that is going to majorly take place over in that part of Yanxia. But I decided to go through this tunnel anyway, and just like, I guess I'll have to figure this out later, get a thumbnail for the episode over in Yanxia just through the cutscenes that are there. If we do enough stuff in that first episode, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of material for us to work with. And cue cutscene. Meanwhile, on the shores of Uthard. Yeah, so I thought it was going to be the cutscene for the entering Yanxia, and that is coming up. But then we get this, and this throws off my whole timing for the episode. End up going a little bit over the hour. Isn't that always the case?
We cannot rest here for long. This place is not safe. Mayhap nowhere is, if thieves can breach our vaults. Nevertheless, it is our duty to protect these treasures, and we shall not fail for want of effort.
So, this is why you abandoned your posts. And without a word of explanation at that. Rather thoughtless of you, was it not?
Lady Yotsuyu, pray forgive us our absence, but our home was under attack, our vaults plundered by outsiders.
Did you even pause to consider the possibility that it might be a diversion? What is the point of contracting your services if you are not here when they are required? It is my solemn charge to bring these vermin to heel. To torment them, body and soul, until all they hold dear is as bitter ashes in their mouths. And then you go and ruin everything! Well, there's naught to be gained in belaboring the point. All that remains is to administer your punishment.
Wait, my lady!
No, it's no good. There's just no joy in it. No release. There needs to be some investment. There were negligent imbeciles deserving of punishment, but it was hardly personal. 10,000 such Korjin could not satisfy me half so well as a single Domo. And what do we have here? One of the vaunted treasures of the Red? The craftsmanship is certainly impressive. Mayhap we can use it to make amends.
How long before Lord Xenos reinstates me, do you reckon? I've got unfinished business back in Eorzea.
Is serving me really so unbearable? At least pretend to enjoy, you witless lump! If you are so desperate to earn a way back to Eorzea, then be quiet and do as you're told. And bring that sword while you're at it.
I remember the silence. How the talking stopped when we first set foot on the plains of Yansha. Before us stood yet another wall, and through a great Magitech field we glimpsed Doma Castle. I'll never forget the sight, or the anger I felt that day. Life, liberty, hope, so much lost, so much taken. As we walked through that war-torn land, no one said a word.
Except for me, doing commentary. Yeah, a lot of great landscape shots here that would have been great for the thumbnail for the upcoming episode. Or at least they would be great if they were during the daytime. But I think with that, with us standing here in the middle of the, this pathway leading further into Yansha and the rest of the area, I think it's at least an okay ending point. We got that little cutscene with Yugiri, or not Yugiri, Yotsuyu, showing off how bad of a villain she is, and it gets worse, we'll get into it later. And it's also the introduction to this area, so it's sort of like foreshadowing for the rest of what's upcoming, I guess. The meat of the next episode isn't going to be this area, though, because very, very awkwardly, even more awkwardly than the post-commentary in this episode, maybe, I'm going to have to abandon this main story just so I can go back all the way to Eorzea and do the event that's happening right there, just so I get that on camera. I'll have to come up with some excuse for why we're teleporting all the way back while we're in the middle of trying to stop this war, but I'm sure I'll figure out some reason. I can come up with an excuse for anything. Now would be a good time to take a break.